Okay, so again, very good evening, everyone. We'll start with this internship meeting. You guys can raise your hand. We'll go in order of raised hand. So, okay, so Indira Banerjee, please start. Let me check your name in the list first. Yeah, can you tell me your topic?
My topic is building a simple Java web application.
Yeah, you are scheduled. You can start. Wait, I will activate
Sir,
the.
permission.
Yeah, I have given it. Please try.
Sir, it's my screen is visible.
Yeah, you can start.
Good evening, everyone. This is Indira Banerjee. Today's topic of discussion is building a simple Java web application. The dimension we are going to cover are the introduction, framework, Spring Boot, create a web page, advantage and limitation. Let's start with the beginning. Introduction. Java is high-level object-oriented secure programming language. It was developed by Sun Microsystem in 1995. James Clausen is called the father of Java. Now we have to know what is the framework. Framework are the bodies that contains the pre-written codes in which we can add our code or overcome the problem. We can also say that framework use the programmer's code because framework is in the control of the programmer. Some of the most popular Java framework are Spring, Hybrid, Grills, Play, Java Server Face, and Google Web Toolkit. Now let's know what is Spring. Spring is a lightweight, powerful Java application development framework. It is used for JEE. It's another module for Spring Security, Spring MVS, Spring Batch, and Spring Warden, Spring Boot, and Spring Cloud, etc. The advantage of Spring is that Spring is a lightweight, fast development, and powerful abstraction. Now let's know what is Spring Boot. Spring Boot is a project that is built on the top of the Spring framework. It provides an easier and faster way to set up, configure, and run both simple and web-based applications. We can also say that Spring Boot is a collection of Spring framework and embedded HTTP server. Now the question arises, why we use Spring Boot? We use Spring Boot because Spring Boot has many starter dependencies, which simplify the application configuration. Creating a simple Java web application. To create Spring Boot application, following are the prerequisites: Java, Maven, Spring Framework, and IDE. Creating project structure. There are multiple ways to use Spring Boot to generate the structure. The structure are created by using the Spring Initializer web, and the second one is Spring Boot CLI frame, and the third one is using IDE. Here I use the Spring Initializer web interface to generate the project structure. Firstly, I browse the Spring Initializer and this page will be arise. After that, we have to choose the project, language, Spring Boot version and dependency. Project structure. Spring Boot does not require any specific code, layout or structure. Here is the layout of our simple project. com.xml. Let's start the looking into com.xml file to understand the Spring Boot configuration in more details. Dependency is an interface feature in the web interface. Based on our selection dependency, web interface automatically add the Spring Boot main application. Here is the Spring Boot application class. This is a Spring configuration class. Our project is running in class-based path. Spring Boot needs to know where we find the code logic. That's why we create this path. Here we use the common scan and make the page package com.example.demo as a parent. After that, we create the logic controller Java. Spring Boot needs to know where to look at the code. That's why we create the login controller.java. Here we can see that I use the requested mapping. The request mapping I use to knowing that I run this code for a particular URL. That's why I use this. And after that, I use a simple condition if and else. If the condition is true, then it's going to the welcome page. Otherwise, it goes to the login page. Application properties. This application properties returns the a page for the views. This is the flowchart which I create. I first create the pom.xml. After that, I create the demo application.java. Then I create the login controller.java, and after that, I create the application properties. This is the login page which I create. In this login page, I have used the basic HTML and CSS. Here we use the input as one is password and another is username. Let's run this code. After that, I have to go to the browser and just localhost. Then this page will be arise. If I provide the username and the password as password, then click the login page, then this welcome page will be arise. If I provide the wrong username or password, I have provide password 1234, and then I after click this login page, then please provide this message will be arise that please provide the correct username and password. Advantage of Spring Boot. It creates a standalone Spring application that can start at using the java.jar. It tested the web application easily with the help of different embedded HTTP servers such as Tomcat, JD, etc. We don't need to deploy the RAR file. It provides the optional starter prompts to simplify our moving configuration. It provides the production-ready features such as matrix, health, check, and explained configuration. Limitation of Spring Boot. Spring Boot can use dependency that are not going to be used in the application. These are the dependency increase of the size of the application. Conclusion. In this PPT, we learn to create a web application with Spring Boot. Spring Boot comes with many builds to in feature to create and run web application more quickly with the minimal efforts. The reference I have used is, if there is any question, you can ask. Thank you.
I hope you're done with your presentation.
Yes,
Right?
I have done.
Yeah. Okay, so see, this presentation was really good. You have improved a lot from last time. If you look at your previous presentation and compare it with this one, you will see that you have improved a lot. Okay, so I can see the improvement, but now you are at this point where you can say that this is the bottom line, that all of your presentation should be at this level. Okay, so next time how you can improve. So next time I would suggest do a story type presentation. Okay, so you will see, okay, sir, but I have a Spring Boot presentation where I need to create a simple Java. How I can create a story out of it? Okay, it is a really hard thing to do because your topic is right like this. Okay, so whatever was there, it was good. It was a really good content. It was well explained and properly formatted. There was not lot of text. Proper diagrams were present. Okay, see how you can create a story. Suppose Spring is there, then tell me how it was innovated. Okay, like Spring is there, what was the need of it, why the innovation was there. It gives a small story, like a background story. It will give your viewers something extra to listen, because if I want to learn Spring, what I will do is I will go to YouTube, I will search on Spring and watch a tutorial, right? But no one will teach me why Spring was innovated. And if you can tell us in a story format why Spring was innovated, it will be like solving a problem. Okay, there will be, see, everything that is innovated, it is innovated because it wants to solve a problem. There is a problem statement. So we can get more in-depth knowledge on the Spring. Okay, the particular functions are there, why they are there. The background story can tell us that. So these are the little things that you can add in your presentation to make it story wise. Okay. So next time when you are giving a presentation, make it at this level. Okay, the way you have created it, but try to create a story, because if story doesn't work, you can at least give a presentation of this level. Okay. So next time try a story level. Other than that, this was really good. You have included all the themes, conclusion, references, and all the points. Okay. So it was a very well done presentation. Thank you for presentation. We'll move on to next question. Uh, Nishant.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Okay, so create a Linux instance of EC2, right?
Yes, sir. Right.
Yeah, you are scheduled.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is visible. You can start.
So, good evening, everyone. So, my name is Nishant, and my task name is create a Linux instance on AWS EC2, and I am from Cloud Computing Group. So, these are the table of contents for this presentation. So, what is AWS? AWS is the world's most and biggest cloud offering, which offers over 200 fully featured services. So millions of users use AWS, including many startups, to lower their costs and become more agile and innovate faster. So AWS has the most extensive global cloud infrastructure and various availability zones. So moving on. So the advantages of AWS are it is very flexible, cost effective, easy to use, and secure. So the prerequisite for this task was to create an AWS account, download Putty and PuttyGen, and the task objectives were to learn about EC2 service, to set up a Linux instance and install basic services, and to get more insights in order to manage cloud infrastructure operations for Hackveda. So what is AWS EC2? So AWS EC2 is an elastic cloud compute service which provides secure and resizable compute capacity in the cloud. So it helps various web applications to run on it, and also provides complete control of your resources and lets you run those resources on AWS proven computing environment. So Amazon EC2 changes the economics of computing by allowing you to only pay for the resources that you use. So Amazon EC2 provides developers the tools to build the various web applications and isolate them from common failure scenarios. So now I will show you my demonstration. Here I have created the EC2 instance on Kali Linux using Kali Linux AMI. So after selecting this instance, click on connect and go to SSH client, and then copy this public DNS and then run putty as administrator. So here you have to paste the public DNS. And as we are using Kali Linux, type in Kali and then go on SSH and go on authentication and credentials and browse for the private key, which is of PPK format, and open it. So then open the PPK file. And here you can see the Kali Linux instance is connected. In order to see the public IP, you can type IPA, and then you can see the public IP address of the instance, which is visible over here. So moving on. So the conclusion of this presentation is that we have created a Kali Linux instance on AWS EC2 and connected it successfully using Putty. So here are the references that I have used for this presentation. So if you have any questions, please feel free to answer. Thank you.
I hope you are done.
Yes.
Is this your first presentation? I believe I have not seen you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. This is my first.
For being your first presentation, this was a really well-made presentation. Okay, I would say it was a really good presentation. You touched all the important points. You explained them properly. Your demo was also easy to understand. Okay, but now from next time onward, when you are doing a presentation on cloud, see, doing a task is one thing and presentation is another thing. Okay, when you are doing a task, you can simply demonstrate that I am done. But when you are doing a presentation, try to have some more in-depth research on it, because when we give a presentation, this was, I would say, quite generic presentation. Okay, like you just give me definition what is EC2, what, how to do things, and we will get it done with. It was closed. Okay, but when we are saying that you need to give a story type presentation, how to add a story in a cloud level presentation. See why EC2 or EC2 instances were innovated, like you saw on the earlier I said. Okay, see, earlier, if I want to install a Kali client, how I will install without cloud? I will install it on my hardware or somewhere on the server. Okay. But then what advantages does EC2 give me? Okay, you can touch on those things. You can give a story like format that how we transition from the machine level to cloud. Okay, from local machine to cloud. It will be like, a story type thing. We are going step by step format. We are saying the transitioning, and we are also saying why it is superior to the physical machine and what are its main advantages. Okay, so you are giving more in-depth information while keeping all the basic things intact. Okay, you can try that thing, because in cloud, see, there are five important points that you can keep in mind. If you have a problem statement, how you can do the same thing on local without cloud, then how you have transitioned it to cloud, how you can do that on the cloud, and how cloud is able to do those things. Okay, and then what are the advantages that we saw. That's it. In cloud, this is the main points you need to cover. If you touch them, then your presentation will be really good, because you have covered all the important aspects that you can cover on a topic. Okay, so keep this in mind. But being this for your first presentation, this was really well made, because people who have given presentation on EC2 as their first presentation, this was very good compared to them, I would say. Okay, so all the best
Thank
for
you, sir.
next one. This was good. I will move on to next question, because we have a lot of presentation for today. So Saurabh Singh, thank you, Nishant. You can turn over
Uh,
your hand.
I'm audible, sir,
Yes, you are audible.
and am I visible?
Yes, you are visible also.
Okay, I'll just start then. So let me just share my screen. Is it visible?
Yeah. Wait, let me check the topic. Yeah, you are scheduled for 13th. Start.
Okay. So hey guys, I'm Saurabh Singh from Web Developer Group, and good evening also. In my previous presentation, I talked about data types, variables, and operators in JavaScript. So in today's presentation, I'm going to cover control structures in JavaScript. But before moving further, there's a simple question.
I think he is having some internet issue, I believe. So, okay, for now, we'll move on to next person. And let's see if he joins back, we can continue. So, Sahil. Yeah, you can start.
So let me know if you can see my presentation.
Yeah, it is visible. You can start.
Hello everyone, I am Sahil from first batch machine learning intern batch, and today I am going to present my project on exploratory data analysis. In short, we can say EDA on a data set named credit card fraud. And what is this project all about? In this project, we are going to analyze a data set in which we are given transactions of like particular place or particular time, and we are going to conclude something, and we will try to understand that data. That this could be, I think, very crucial to analyze this credit card data set, because it can help startups in many ways. Sir, I can't see you. Am I still visible? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So I will continue. Okay. So let's get a sight of this data. We are having 31 columns in total. It is time, V1, V2, V3, V4. Still we don't know about this, and amount and class. In this amount section shows how much amount of money is debited, and this class shows if the transaction was a fraud or non-fraud. We can say it is valid or invalid. 0 shows it was non-fraud, and 1 shows it was fraud. And time, here we can see 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, and it is showing the seconds that passed after the first transaction. So 0 means it was the first transaction at some particular time. So before moving on, we must know what are anomalies in a data, because as a data analyst, we should know there can be some errors and mistakes in data. So what are anomalies? We can say these are outliers. Outliers are those data points in our data which are different from the majority of observations. For example, here you can see this data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 7, 5. And you can see these two values, 99 and 87, are looking quite different from other values. So these are outliers. How can we detect outliers? We can detect outliers by two methods. It is Z-score method and IQR method. In Z-score method, we use standard deviation. It's we compare the values with 3Z value. It's a third standard deviation. And in IQR method, we use interquartile range. It is like interquartile range is the difference between 75 percentile and 25 percentile, and we multiply it with a specific number. So let's not go into deep of this. And so let's check for outliers and missing values in our data. Here I written this code if there is any missing value in our data. But you can see this was our data, and I haven't done the outlier thing or checking the outlier thing in this data, because you can see time, amount, and class. How can be there's outliers in this data? Because in the given description of this data in Kaggle, there is no specification of amount that a person can deduct or debit from its account. And class, every value in this class column is 0 and 1. So there is no meaning in applying this outlier thing on these columns. And if you talk about time, these are the seconds. We are going to convert them into hours later. So it doesn't matter if there exist any outliers in it. And about these columns, V1, V2 till V8, these are already standardized by the data provider. We will see how do we know that these are standardized value. So that's why this was the reason I didn't use outlier checking. So let's visualize our data now. So there are total 2,84,807 transactions, and in those transactions 2,84,315 are valid, and there are only 492 transactions that were fraud. So the data is quite imbalanced. If we are applying a machine learning model in it, then it would be quite difficult, and we would like need to see its skewness value and its mean distribution and more things. But still, now our focus is on data analysis. So we can see there are high number of a very large number of non-fraud, that we can say valid transactions, and fraud transactions are very low. So heat map. This was how we know that the V1 and V8 are already standardized. Here heat map can show the correlation between different columns. You can see time V2 on like these columns are on X on Y axis, and this map here shows their correlation. Correlations means how are they going with each other, if how are they affecting the value of each other. If the value is zero, correlation value is zero, it means it is not affecting the other values, other column values at all. Here you can see the zero thing in V2 with other columns, and that's how we come to know V1 and V20 till V28 columns are already standardized by using a method called PC. And you can see this white line. White line is showing 1. It means they are completely correlated, and it is a obvious thing that time will be completely correlated with itself. So that's why we always get this white line in center during visualization of heat map. So let's move on. One more thing that a data analyst need to do with data is data transformation, because as you can see, we can't visualize every type of data. We need to modify it in some way to help us visualize it, to see it better. As you can see, the time data set, the time column, it was in seconds. And how can we describe it in seconds, or how can we visualize it in seconds? If we are going to present it in a graph, the seconds will be like very large, like length on x-axis. So we are going to transform it into an hour feature. We will convert the seconds into hour, and because there are only 24 hours in it, it will be very easy for us when to like see when was the transaction like occurred. So let's see number of transaction at a specific hour of a day. You can see we have 24 hours here, 0 to 23. So number of transactions graph per hour is like this. So we don't get anything from here, but we will get something from here. As you can see, the non-fraud transactions, these are the valid transactions in 24 hours. You can see the lowest number of transactions that are non-fraud were at 5. It's 5 a.m. 5 o'clock you can say, because it's 6 o'clock, because the values are starting from 0 and we are not writing it in AM and PM. It is 24-hour format. We can say at 6 o'clock we got the lowest non-fraud transactions. These are the valid transactions. And for the fraud transactions at specific hour a day, we can see there are high peaks of fraud transactions at 4 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So it can be very helpful for a machine if a person is like applying a machine learning model in this data, and we already know that how is this data working or what are the trends in the data. We can also predict that there are high chances of a transaction to be fraud at 4 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Amount versus fraudulent transactions. The transactions which were fraud, the highest amount that was debited was like 2000, the maximum amount that was debited. The transactions that debited the amount 0 to 25 250, were between 400 transactions. And the same goes with our valid transactions that are known fraud. And the amount was 0 to 2,500, and the transactions were more than 25,000, 2,50,000 in it. And the maximum amount in non-fraud that was debited, it was 25,000. So we can now we are going to visualize three things at a time. Amount of money withdrawn at a specific hour for non-fraud transactions. These were we were seeing. So let's see. For non-fraud transactions, this was the graph, and for non-fraud transactions have a stable amount during all hours. You can see it is almost stable, and with the lowest values and at 4 and 6, you can see 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, and the highest values were at 11 and 12, that is 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And if you see fraud transactions, we are having very low amount being deducted, and the highest amount that was deducted was about 800 in this given data. There can be different values in the real life scenario, but in the given data that was collected, this is what we can see. And that's all. Here are our conclusions. The number of valid transactions from 9 a.m. onward is between 1,500 rupees to 17,000. 1,500 rupees, and we can see that's how we visualize our data. Let me show you the demonstration. Here, that's how I used Python for EDA, and we have performed univariate bivariate analytics to gain better understanding in data. What is univariate and bivariate? Actually, univariate is like presenting or like drawing a single column on graph, and bivariate we are comparing 2 columns at a time on a single graph. And here are the steps to visualize any data. First, we need to import some necessary modules like pandas, numpy, matplotlib. This is what we use for visualization, and this is necessary. Pandas is necessary for handling our data set, and SNSC born is also needed to visualize our data. And this date time library helps us to convert. If you can remember, we converted this time in seconds into hours. This was the library that helped us to do so. And we will import our data set. This is how we imported our data set, and this was our head, data set head. And let's describe the data. We can see how many normal values are there, the column names, and that was, and then we check for our anomalies and missing values, and then we can say the same things that I showed in your presentation. I have just written the code for this. You can see this is the heat map, and here we created this hour feature from seconds and number of transactions at a specific hour per day. And that's how we visualize all this data, and overall conclusions for this. So if you have any question and answer, you can ask me. Feel free to ask. I will try my best to answer. I hope nobody is having any questions. So let me know if there are any questions. That's it. Thank you.
I hope you are done with it. Okay.
Yes.
Your task was EDA, right?
Yes, sir.
EDA on a particular data set.
Yes, sir.
Because
Sir.
I just wanted to confirm it in the
Yes.
list. Because it in list it only says EDA, okay, but you have given for credit card.
Sir, should I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
I'm
sir.
just Sahil 13. Your email is Sahil Rohan 07 @gmail, right? Um,
Yes, sir. This is
Yeah, just confirming. Okay.
okay.
See, your presentation was really good. Your all the see, it was EDA, so you explained all the aspects. Okay, it was
Yes,
better
sir.
from last time.
Yes, sir.
But flow was like missing somewhere. We were going in step by step, but it could have been improved, I believe, from the story wise. Okay,
Yes, sir.
but it was a topic that it is really hard to make a story. Okay,
Yes,
I
sir.
will give you that. That is not an issue. So you explained all the things. Okay,
Yes.
for Q&A, what I can ask you? Yeah, tell me what is NPC?
What, sir?
NPC.
NPC.
NPC, CEIL. You had that
Sir,
code, right?
yes, sir. NP is the library that NumPy. I have just used an alias for it. And seal is a function that like we are dividing something. We are and getting a value in points. It will just convert it into an integer. So we are using seal function, and seal will convert that float value into an upper integer. That's why we used it. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. That is fine. Okay, then I don't think I have anything to ask. We go through Q&A. You had all the references and everything. Yeah. Yeah. You can consider your presentation as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Sahil. Keep up this kind of presentation. This was good. So we'll move on to next presentation. That is Jyoti. Sorry, Jyoti. We had one more person. I will call your name again. Okay. Yeah, Saurabh, I believe you had internet issue, right? I hope it is fixed now. Okay, you have joined from other account.
Am I audible now, sir?
Yeah, you need to start again. I believe you got disconnected on the start.
Yeah, sir. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, but I just got disconnected.
Yeah, no issue, you can start. Yeah, quickly
Okay.
try to finish it.
Am I visible?
Yeah, you can start. Please share the screen.
Okay, I'll just share the screen. Is it visible?
Yes, you can continue.
Okay. So hey guys, good evening again. I'm Saurabh from Web Developer Group, and in my previous presentation, I explained about data types, variables, operators. And in this presentation, I'm going to cover control structures in JavaScript. But before moving further, there's this question I have in my mind, like why do we use control structures? Like what's the need for control structures? So consider a car, like you have a car and you are running it. You have pressed the accelerator and it's moving forward. But are you going to move forward every time? Like never going to change the direction, or never want to change the direction? So what would it mean if you don't even have a steering wheel in your hand? Like you don't have the control over the car. So basically, control structures are just like the steering wheels. It gives the decision, it gives the control over our code. So basically, control structures constitute the basic blocks for decision making, processes in computing. They change the flow of program and enable us to construct complex sets of instructions out of a simple building block. Let's talk about the content. I'll be covering basically three control structures that are if else, switch, loops, and then I'll show you my the task which I've completed, like the demo and some references. So basically, let's talk about control structures. So they are basically used to create that they are basically used to create scripts that can decide which lines of code should be evaluated, then how many number of times should they be evaluated, then they make the decisions based on the expressions that evaluates the logical values like true or false. There are basically two types of control structures, that are conditional and loop type statements. Let's jump into if else statements. So basically it is a type of conditional statement it is a block of code. A block of code can be executed if the test condition evaluates to be a boolean true, else another block is executed. Let's take a quick example. Here I have mentioned constant r is equals to new date, and it will just consider the time of my computer. So if the r is less than 18, that is 6 p.m, so it will give me a greeting of good day, and else if it is above 18, it will give me a good evening. So since we know that it's around 7:43, that is above 6 p.m, so it will evaluate as good evening. So it has given me good evening as an output. uh, Moving further to switch statements, let's talk about switch statements. They are used to perform different actions based on different conditions. It executes the statement associated with the first match. As you can see in my example, I have got two cases and a default case. Let's say a is equals to 2. Then case 1, if a is equals to one 1 break, then case 2 is a is equals to 2 two, and then default if none of the above is matching the cases, then it will show you not found. So as you can see, I have taken a is equals to 2, hence it's showing me the value as value is 2. As you can see on the screen on the right side, the value is 2. If I had put a is equals to 1, then it will be showing me the value is one, and if I have put a is equals to 3, then it would have shown me that the value can't be found, because none of the cases matches the the cases which I have given here. Let's jump further to loops. As you can see, loop can execute a block of code a number of times. There are many types of loops, such as for loop, while loop, for in, for off, etc. Here we are going to talk about while loop and for loop. So the while statement is used to execute a block of code while a certain condition is true. It can be recalled like the syntax is given as while, then the test condition which we are going to specify, and then the statements. As we can see with this example, here I'm taking let I is equals to 0. So if while I is less than 5 and I plus plus, so it will keep executing the value till it reaches 5, till it reaches 4. And as you know, the number always starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I given I is less than 10, so it will be executing 0, 1, 2 till 9. Let's jump to for loop here. So the for loop, it basically iterates through block of statements for some particular range of values. In the example, as you can see, I'm looping from 1 to 5. So in each iteration, I is going to be increased by 1, and let I is equals to 1, let I less than equals to n, and I plus plus. So I'll be getting same like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till 1 to 5. And if the values increase like 1 to 10, then it will be giving me 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 until 9. These are the loop. These are all the control structures which are covered here, like the if else, the for loop, while loop, and yeah. So I'm going to present you my demo which I've created. I've created a summarized all the concepts by creating a simple tic-tac-toe game, and I've provided a link for the same. This is the demo. As you can see, I'll be putting some X and zeros here. Let's say no one wins, so it'll be sorry, X wins lol. So the X wins, so I'll restart and I can play any other. And if there happens to be a draw, then it will show me a message like the match has been drawn and you have to restart. So this uses all the control structures which I mentioned in my PPT. And just a second. And hope I explained the control structures to you. And if you have any further questions related to this topic, you can ask me. Feel free to ask. And I've mentioned my Gmail as well. You can contact me there. Thank you.
Okay, I hope your presentation is done.
Yeah, yes, sir. I'll just stop the screen.
See, this was a good presentation, I would say. You have improved a lot from last time. See, your flow was really good in this one. You had a story at the start. Okay. For the Q&A, let me ask you a question. Can you tell me a difference between switch statement and if else conditional?
For difference between here we provide cases to the switch statement, like certain range has been provided. Like if I give you, let's say the day is Thursday, the today date is Thursday, and I give you for statements like, let the case 1 be 0 and that day is Sunday. Let case 1 be Monday. Let case 2 be Tuesday, and further on till Saturday. So it will check which date is today with the date time function, and with that it will display the date. And with if else statement, I'm giving you certain conditions, like I've already given you some data there, and it will check whether the data is there present over there or not. If it isn't present, then it will give me the else value, like the data is not present there.
But switch does it, and they are also doing the same thing. Okay, it is just that if else is like, providing something more, right? It is conditional.
Yeah.
Then why we even need a switch? Can't we just remove it? Like, why do we need it? Remove it. You can reduce the size of your Python jet to download. It is 27 MB executable, right? Remove the switch, it is 26 MB. You said 1 MB of space. Why you need switch? If they are doing the same thing, and if else is providing more better approach, you see, like it has a conditional. It is always and always giving you something. Why do we need switch? See, your topic is really fundamental topic. Okay, and when you explain something, okay, curiosity is a really like, scary thing. When there is a curiosity, everything that is innovated, there is a curiosity behind it. Okay, that is why I always say, find why it was innovated. You will find out greater in-depth like, more information on it. Try that. Simple thing is search on what is I believe it was called data table or point table. Okay, something like that. What was called? Wait, switch. If I remember clearly, if I like have learned it, then it creates something called as jump table. Switch is yeah. In some cases, switch is faster than if else. When you have lots and lot of cases, like, then you can use switch. It is much faster than it. Okay, do some research on it, because the more in-depth knowledge you have, the better your presentation will be. See, it was good, but again, it was one question that can, like, put you in a hard spot. And this is the problem with the fundamental topics. Okay, what was there? If you watch the presentation, you will be impressed by yourself. You will see, I have given a really good presentation. Okay, but this is a curiosity that I wanted to let you know. So do some in-depth topic on it, because it is a really important thing. Because see, in every programming statement, this kind of things will be there. Conditional will be always there. Okay. This is just that, see, no one cares about it. Okay. But when you go on really, like, deeper level, where we are creating about the performance of our application, we need to care about what we are using. Okay.
Understood.
Because yeah, in Python, if you will see, just check if there is, like, example of switch case in the Python. You will always see there is if else. Okay, you will not see any switch cases. And if you, like, search, like, explicitly tell your search engine to search on it, then it will give you something like match or case 1, case 2. Okay, so do on that.
Okay.
Other than that, your presentation was really well done. You have improved a lot. You went through a story. Your flow was really good. And one thing that I liked was you used colors really well in your presentation. It was good looking. It was pretty looking. The visibility was correct. Okay. So thank you for your presentation. Now I will move on to next one.
Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity.
Yeah. So Jyoti. Yeah, now you can start.
Am I audible?
Can you increase the voice?
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, now you're audible. You can start.
Okay, sir. Sir, my screen is visible.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, sir. Hello everyone, my name is Jyoti and I am from Machine Learning Intern batch. So today I'm going to present my task with predictive modeling. So let me start. So, so my task is predictive modeling. Actually, I missed that last slide. So I'm just going to explain what was the last slide. Last slide, there was the task description. So in this task, we will go to predict a target value on the basis of some parameters. Or we are going to apply some supervised learning algorithms. And actually, basically in this task, in this particular task, we will predict a math score of a student on the basis of some given parameters. So first of all, I will explain you what is supervised learning algorithm. So in supervised learning algorithms, so we will train our computer, or we can say our machine, with some input values for a particular labeled output, and then our machine will get some pattern with some patterns, and on the basis of this knowledge, our machine will give us the prediction of the future input values, or we can say test values. So let me explain supervised learning with an example. Just suppose I'm a student and uh, yes, sir, is my teacher. So he is teaching me a concept, and he teaches me, and then he take my test. So I can easily uh, give the answer of that test, because I know the pattern. I know the knowledge about that topic. So there is on other hand, there is an unsupervised learning. So I'm not going to explain unsupervised learning in detail. So I'm just giving an idea about unsupervised learning. So our machine will just we will not train our machine with an input value. We are just giving the all data to our machine, and then our machine will understand the pattern of the given data. Then on the basis of that pattern, it will give us the output. So this is the main difference between supervised or unsupervised machine learning algorithms. So Hackveda has already provided us the data set which I will use in this task. So I have downloaded the data set using this link. So the main goal of my task is to predict the match score of a student on the base of some given parameters. So there are the steps to achieve the goal, this particular goal. So first of all, I have analyzed and visualized the data set, or you can say data. And then after that, I have loaded the data in my particular code. And I have separated the input or output values, or we can say feature or the label value. Then I have split the data in 80 to 20 ratio. 80% data we will give our machine for training, and we will check our model on the 20% data. And my fifth step is I will train the particular model on the data, and sixth I will get the accuracy score, and the accuracy score of the model is best. We will select that model the best as a best model for that particular data set. So after analyzing the data set, I got some feature values. So there are these feature values, or you can say input values. So first is gender, second is race, potential level of education, length, test preparation scores, regarding reading score, and writing score. These are the some parameters on these our the students' math score is depends. So I have done data visualization of the data set. So after I have visualized, there are the more than 500 females, and there are the less number of males. So we can say that females are more, and here I have applied the data visualization, checking the courses, how many students have took the course or how many have not took the course. So as we can see in the pie chart, there are the more students who have not took the course. So after that, I have checked how many students are in a particular in groups. So in graph, we can see in group C there are the more than 300 students, and there are the less students in the group A. So here I have presented the parental education level in the pie chart. So we can see there is the some college. Some college means the parents who have studied in colleges. So there are the more can say more parents are from the colleges. So parental level education also affects our math score. So as we can see in our graph, score between 60 to 70, the students have scored more scored in the 60 to 70. So I have used some steps to complete this task or to acquire the best result. First, I have split my data for testing or for training, and after then I will train the model on the training data. Then I will check the accuracy of each model. So I have used 3 algorithms in this particular task. First one is random forest model. Second is logistic regression. Third one is linear regression. So I will not explain these algorithms in depth. Just I'm giving the overview of these algorithms. So first is random forest. So in random forest, actually, the working of random forest is this. We have a training data set, training data, and we have a test data. So we will subset our training data, and in random forest there are some decision trees. We will give this subset data to these trees, and they will give us result. Then random forest will calculate the average of these results to improve the prediction, to improve the accuracy of the result. So the second is logistic regression model. Basically, logistic regression model is used to tell us the object is belongs to some particular category or not. Or we can use logistic regression model as a regression model, or it also works as a linear regression model. So basically, it will give us the true or false value. It gives the probabilistic value, which is the price between the 0 to 1. Third is linear regression model. A linear regression model basically gives us the relationship between the dependent or the independent value. Or we can say it gives a line. Line means it gives the line of their relationship. Like I'm saying, the dependent value is changing according to the independent values, as we can see in the graph. After applying these models, I got some accuracies from each models. First one is regression model is accuracy is 88.38 something. Random forest model gives the accuracy 84.89. Logistic regression model gives the accuracy 67.54 something. So the final conclusion after applying these models is the logistic regression model have no more accuracy as compared to the linear regression model. So the linear regression model has a more accuracy as compared to the both of the second regression models. So this is my final conclusion. Linear regression model is the best for this given data set. So I'm just going to explain my code also. So here is my code. I have written my code in Python in Jupyter Notebook. So first step, I have imported all the libraries which I will use in this task. So I have imported my data set in my code, and I have printed my data set here. Then I have separated my columns. We can say our feature values. There are these columns: gender, race, parental level, education, etc. After separating the columns, I have used EDA, or you can say I have analyzed my data set. So first I have checked the gender, we can say number of females or males in the data. Then I have checked how many students have took the course, or how many students have not took the course. After that, I have converted my string data into the integer. I have converted this string data into integer because our machine will not understand the string values. It can work only on the integer values. That's why I have converted values to the integer values. After converting integer string to integer, I have printed my data here. You can see, and I have split the data for training and testing in the ratio of 80 to 20 ratio. So here I have split. After that, I have applied my model: random forest, linear regression, and logistic regression. So here is their accuracies for each models. That's my demonstration code. So that's from my side. Thank you, sir.
I hope you are done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you taking question answer?
Sir, yes.
Okay. Okay, so I believe in this task also we have already given you what algorithms you need to apply, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have applied the algorithm on the given data set.
Yes, sir.
On one of the what are the accuracies that you have got?
Sir, there are
Scroll down at that. Yeah. Okay, so you are getting the best accuracy on linear regression. Okay, and the
Yes, sir.
second base is random forest. So
Yes, sir.
if I want to deploy it, then my best option is to go for linear or random forest, right?
Yes, sir.
So in the logistic regression, what is your split for the train and testing data?
Yes, sir.
What is the split for the train and testing data?
सर एक्चुअली जो लॉजिस्टिक एंड रिग्रेशन मॉडल है उसमें भी मैंने सेम ही ये डेटा यूज किया है जो मैंने स्प्लिट किया था ऊपर
या
सेम यस सर
कितना परसेंट स्प्लिट किया है स्प्लिट और
सर
80%
80% मैंने स्प्लिट किया था
ओके
मींस फॉर ट्रेनिंग and 20% for testing.
ओके सो 80% के अंदर इसके अंदर अच्छा मिल रहा है लीनियर में, राइट? सो लॉजिस्टिक के अंदर थोड़ा चेंज करके नहीं देखा ट्रेन, अगर सपोज 90-10 करके देखा तो क्योंकि ज्यादा डेटा पॉइंट रहेंगे, मे बी ज्यादा एक्यूरेसी दे देगा
सर
फिर।
मैंने वर्क करके नहीं देखा। I will try.
ओके सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक, लाइक कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स होगा उससे अगर मैंने स्प्लिट ट्रेन और टेस्टिंग डेटा को थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे कर दिया तो?
मतलब there will be, according to me, मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में बताती कि लॉजिस्टिक जो रिग्रेशन मॉडल है, अगर हम उसमें जो 90% डेटा उसको ट्रेनिंग के लिए दे रही हूँ एंड देन 10% में डेटा उसको 10% डेटा मैं टेस्टिंग के लिए यूज कर रही हूँ, देन एक्यूरेसी विल बी हाई एंड मोर देन 67%.
Okay. What if it creates some kind of biasness? ये थोड़ा ज्यादा डेटा दे दिया तो बायस हो गया थोड़ा, because in your data set I can see for one year there is too less data. चार्ट के अंदर मैंने देखा कि स्टार्टिंग के अंदर बहुत ही कम डेटा है, उसके बाद वो ग्रेजुअली इंक्रीज हुआ है,
Yes, sir.
राइट? सो वो डेटा कुछ प्रॉब्लम दे सकता है, बायसनेस कर सकता है क्या? डू यू थिंक उसको नॉर्मलाइज करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए? Before we apply it on the machine learning model.
Sir, करना चाहिए, otherwise we will get the lot of effect.
No, I think okay. Yeah, I don't think we should करना चाहिए. Okay, but इसको ट्राई करो लॉजिस्टिक को थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे करके, ठीक है? सी एक्सप्लोर ऑन योर ओन, बिकॉज ये जो टास्क है ये तुमको थोड़ा देखो एक्सपीरियंस देने के लिए दिया गया है, ठीक है? सो थोड़ा बहुत कर सकते हो, 80-20 किया है सही है, बट थोड़ा अपने बोलते हैं ना सेल्फ लर्निंग के लिए उसको ऊपर नीचे करके चेक कर सकते हो कि क्या मतलब चेंजेस आ रहे हैं, मतलब ज्यादा से कम हो रहा है तो फिर क्या तुमको थोड़ा और एक्सपीरियंस हो जाएगा स्प्लिट और स्प्लिट के अंदर, क्योंकि देखो ये तो तुमको डिसाइड करना रहेगा ना, ठीक है? हम लोग तुमको मॉडल दे देंगे. Yeah, Sahil, that is why I said my question was wrong. Yeah, Jyoti, that is completely fine. Okay. Yeah, it was good. I would say your presentation from last time. The text was just the right amount. It was also well-made presentation. Okay, proper diagrams were used. All the important things were explained. Your main accuracies were explained. It was well explained from last time. This was well-made. You have improved a lot from last time.
Sir, actually, I'm just facing a problem, lack of explanation, or I can say lack of communication skills. That's why I can't explain.
See, it is
properly.
good thing that you are acknowledging, because as long as you are acknowledging your shortcomings, you are able to improve on it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So see, improvements will not be visible in one or twice. As you will give more presentation, you will certainly improve yourself. Okay. So don't worry about that. Just do your best, and as you move on, you will improve. Because if you see the previous presentation, see this presentation, you will see that you will improve. Okay. Yeah. So work slowly, but work surely. Okay. Yeah. So we'll move on to next question. That is Kalyani.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Very good.
Sir, can I share my screen?
Yeah. What is your topic?
Sir, my topic is implementing simple Java web application. No, sir, security in web application, Java application.
What is your full name?
Implementing security a Java web application, sir. My
What is
topic
your full name?
Kalyani Kumari.
Okay. Yeah, you are scheduled for security. You can start.
Can I share my screen, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, it is visible.
Yes, it is visible. You can share.
Good evening, sir. I'm Kalyani Kumari. I'm from Java Developer Group. So my project name is Implementing Security a Java Web Application, and my task name is Implementing Security in Java Web Application. So the contents, wait, sir, I have some problem.
Yeah, if you want, we can move on to this question.
No, sir, no, sir. Wait a minute, sir.
Is it because of this sharing screen? You can share the entire screen, I believe, present.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So can I start now?
Yeah, you can start. Please start again.
Okay, sir. My name is Kalyani Kumari from Java Developer Group. My project name is Implementing Security in Java Web Application, and my task name is Implementing Security in a Java Web Application. So the contents I use in this, the introduction of Spring Boot security, authentication, authorization, filter, Spring Boot security, and I have given my GitHub link and summary. So the first is, what is Spring Boot security? The Spring Boot security that secure our web application by default, and further we can customize as per need. We just need to add the Spring Start security dependency in our application. So once I explain with the diagram, so suppose this is our, so suppose our application is working here. So this is our application. How will be working here now that the application is? So we will also have a client with us, that then the client means working within our application, which is placed here. So how will the client use it? The client will request to the server, then the server will, then the server do with the request. We will serve the means if any data is coming, then it process the request here, and then after processing respond come to the client. Because our application is a Spring Boot application, so mostly Spring Boot application is the used to create REST server. If the midst of all this, what will work for our server? In the midst of all this, what will work for our Spring Boot security? It will secure our entire web application. So moving to the next slide. What is authentication? The identity of users are checked or for providing the access of the system. User verified validity, that user are whom they claim to be. And authorization, giving the user permission to access a specific resource or function. Filter, a filter is an object that is invoked at the pre-processing, the post-processing of a request. To the first point, we will talk about in the authentication. Authentication is the entity that will check our identity. And the second point, the authorization. The authorization, it become know that you are the right person or right thing. You use the authorization to access the resources. And the filter is basically a concept of Java. The object of the filter is invoked before the process reached the server. We use the filter. And moving to the next slide. Spring security. Spring security is a framework that provides authentication, authorization, and protection against common attacks with the first-class support for security, both imperative and restrictive application. It is the de facto standard for security Spring Boot application. Suppose that you want to prevent unauthorized user for the viewing greeting page. As it now, if a visitor click on the link to the home page, they see the greeting with no barriers to stop them. You need to add a barrier that forces the visitor to sign in before they can use the page. You do that by configuring Spring Boot in the application. If Spring security is on the class path, Spring Boot automatically secure at HTTP endpoint with basics. Authentication, however, you further customize the security setting. The first thing you need to do is add Spring security to the class path. With Glide, you need to add 3 lines. one for the application, and one for the Spring Security integration, and one for the testing. So moving to the next slide. Here is the GitHub link. You can see my code here and the summary. Declarative security for web application is description in Spring Security web application programmatic security is embedded in an application and can be used to make security decisions. When declarative security alone is not sufficient to express the security model of an application. So this is all from my side. So.
There is no demo.
What, sir?
There is no demonstration.
No, sir.
Okay, not an issue. Okay, so it was yeah, sorry.
Stop my.
Yeah,
Can I
sure.
stop my
Yeah,
slide?
yeah. Yes, you can. Okay, it was a good presentation. You covered all the important points. Okay, but I think story-wise it could have been better. Okay, try to make more story-type presentations next time. It would be good, but it was good presentation for now. Okay, content was good, and I believe you forgot to add the Q&A slide. Add the Q&A slide next time. Okay.
Sir, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Sir, I don't get the last presentation marks.
When was it?
Sir, it was on 3rd of March.
Third March. Topic name?
Implementing a simple Java web application.
Yeah, it is not so. Okay, we'll send it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You will get the score for this one and the implementing Java application. It is in the database. Okay, we will review it and send it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll move on to next person. That is Akanksha Mahamuni.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, please turn your camera and share the screen.
Hello and good evening, everyone.
Oh, wait, Akanksha. Sorry. Can you share your email? Sorry, I can see your email. I will just cross check your name.
You got it, sir?
Wait.
Okay. So my topic
Wait,
for the
Akanksha.
task. Okay.
Yeah, you can start now. Please start with the intro.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Akanksha Mahamuni. I am from 1st April Cybersecurity Group, and the task that was assigned to me was how software runs in CPU and patched by cracking. So these are the topic contents I'm going to cover: how our programs executed, x86 registers and their functions, then the sections of CPU using Oli debugger. How are programs executed? So basically, when we write a program, it is written in high-level language. So this source code is then stored into preprocessor, which generates a preprocessor code, as you can see here. And then the compiler generates an assembly code. Then assembler generates a machine code, and then linker generates an executable code. So the .exe file is something which is manipulated, and then that is how a particular software is hacked or cracked, we can say. So how are softwares cracked? As we all know, there are software such as Photoshop, Adobe that are cracked. This is done by manipulating the file, the .exe file which we download, using a debugger which converts the binary code to machine code. Let's have a look at x86 registers and their functions. So x86 register is a 32-bit register. There are 3 types of registers in it: data register, which is used to store data or addresses; instruction pointers, which points to the address of the next instruction; then there are pointer registers. The data registers are accumulator register. Accumulator register is used for arithmetic and logical operations. We can use it for mathematical calculations. Then there is base register, which is used to store the base address. Count register is used for loop, and the data register is used for input output operations. Then the source index and destination index, these are used to store the address of the instruction to be run and where to be stored after the generating the output. Then there are pointer registers, stack pointer and base pointer. So the base pointer points to the address of the lowermost address of a stack, and the stack pointer points to the topmost address of the stack. Then let's have a look at sections of CPU using Ollie's debugger. So a debugger basically converts the binary code to assembly code, and then at the assembly code level, we have to manipulate the code in order to make the processor run the code we want to run. So let's have a look at the sections. This section is basically the storage part where the actual program is stored. This is the processor section. Here we can see the data in hexadecimal form, then human understandable assembly language code. Here the text strings are stored. This is the register section. Here the registers with the addresses they are pointing to is stored. Then this is the RAM where the actual data is stored and the RAM address and everything, and how the program, as the program runs, how the changes are made. This is Ollie debugger is basically used to crack a code which is written in C programming language. There are several other debuggers depending on the programming language the software is used to is made in. Then demonstration. This is the basic code. So here the normal output which should come is no B is not equal to 1, since B's value is 2, and it will jump to the else state. So in order to crack this code, we have to generate the output which is completely opposite to it. So we will open this code in Ollie's debugger. In this, I'll first find search for text strings. So the code will run till no B is not equal to 1 in whichever case. So we will click on that, and I have created 2 breakpoints, as you can see.
Sorry,
So here,
sorry to disturb Akanksha, but I can't see your demonstration screen. I can only see the PPT.
yes, sir, wait a minute. So you are not able to see the code which I showed.
No, I can see the PPT. It says demonstration.
Okay. So this was the code.
I can still not see.
Share. Just a minute, sir. So this was the code.
Yeah, it is visible now.
Yeah. So the code was made in a way that it should generate since the B's value is equal to 2, it should generate output as no B is not equal to 1. So we have, in order to crack this code, we have to generate an output which is completely opposite to it. In order to do that, we will compile this code on CMD, and we will generate an executable file. This executable file we will open on Ollie debugger. Let me share that screen. Sir, is it visible?
Yes.
This is the Ollie debugger. I opened that executable file, and we will manipulate the code in the assembly language. As you can see, I have provided 2 breakpoints. This is where the program ends. So firstly, I will move the address of stack pointer to base pointer. Then we will subtract the address stored in stack pointer by C. This is because we have to create a stack. We have to allocate a space for the program. Then the next three lines are used in order to store the values of A, B, C. As we can see, if we want to see it in detail, we can see it in the RAM. So let me run it first. So after storing the 3 values, as we can see, the EBP8 stores 1, EBP4 stores 2, and EBPC stores 3. So after that, we have to compare this with 1 if it is equal to 1. So since I have not manipulated the code, it will generate an output as no B is not equal to 1. So in order to crack this, we will manipulate this code, and we will compare we will rather compare the value of EBP4, which is equal to 2. We will compare it with 2, which will then generate an output as yes, B is equal to. Just wait a minute. Yeah. So I have made the changes. So now if I run, it shows yes, B is equal to 1. These are the references, these are the websites I used, and also the YouTube video links which are provided by the company. Then the conclusion is that a program goes through several steps before the CPU actually processes it. So the high level code is first converted into an object file, executable file, ASM file according to the compilation step we use. An AXE file can be altered without changing the source code of any program. Program data is stored into registers before performing operations on the data. Then any software can be cracked by changing the address of the pointers or altering the assembly code. Softwares can be cracked using debuggers specific to the language they are written. If anyone has any question, they can ask. That's it from my side, sir. Thank you.
I hope it is done, right? Hello, Akanksha. Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So your presentation was good, okay. But I believe when you are explaining the core concepts, so when you are explaining the core concepts, try to use more diagrammatic approach. Okay, so you had talked about registers and how to manipulate them to crack the code, right? So try to use more diagrammatic approach, right? Use diagram, flow charts, or some kind of animation to explain this kind of code, because this is really on a low level, and lot of people who are not related to your technical tech or domain, they will find it really hard to understand. Okay, and also the visibility was not good because you can see the text was really small, and I don't think they have option to increase the text, right? So try to use diagrams and then so that it is really easy to understand the important thing, and then you can easily do a simple demonstration to, like we have already seen this in the explanation. Now this is how it work in, like, in action. Okay, that will become more simple for you to explain and for us to understand. So try to have that for the really complex topics. Okay, but this was good presentation. Your design was really good. I like the design of your PPT. Your explanation was good. It was on point, covered all the important aspects. Demo was also good. Okay, but try to have more proper conclusion, reference, and those things. Okay, I believe it was quite small, but it is okay. Okay, for being your first presentation, you have done really well. Okay. Yeah, so we'll move on. Next person is Rohan J. Sorry, Mihir Dubey.
Hello.
Yeah, very good evening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can't see your camera.
Sir.
Yeah, now
the-
it is. Is your topic Hackveda business operation script in Python?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Okay, please start.
Hello.
Yeah, please share the screen.
Yes, sir. Sure. When I click on my screen present, it is showing screen sharing has failed to start the Windows left is valid.
Try sharing your entire screen.
Okay. Let's see. So now it is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Sir, okay. May I start, sir?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. First of all, guys, my name is Mihir and currently I'm a part-time Python intern in Hackveda Limited. My task one is the Hackveda business operation script in Python, and in which there are two tasks: is Google crawler for digital marketing and sending email with SMTP. So I'm going to show you about how Google crawler for digital marketing is working, and I will elaborate everything about it. First, we will cover a topic of introduction, features, working, implementation, and code snippets and advantage and disadvantage of the Google crawler for digital marketing. First, I'm going to talk about how crawler is work. So crawler is, we can also say crawler as a robot or a spider, and is a generic term for any program that is used to automatically discover and scan websites from following links from one web page to another web page. And Google's main crawler is working on Google bot, and we can also Google crawler called as Google bot. And crawling is the process of finding new or updated pages to add to Google, and the program used by search engines to scan the web, understand the content, and create a list of the all websites. The features of this is language independent, scalability, and intelligent crawling and efficient algorithm. So how Google crawler is work? So crawling, Google downloads text. We can download text, images, videos from pages it found on the internet, which automated programs called crawlers. So Google crawler is first identify the site which we want from Google, and then they analyze it and indexing all the resources they fetched from different resources, and we can set the limited, like we can set the sites, like we can set the Wikipedia and query.com and different type of sites we can set it to search whatever we want. This is the process. Crawling web pages, analyze page content, store in the index, then send data, ranking, algorithm, and another thing. I've run my codes, and these are the snippets. I can also share you on Google Colab. This is code, okay. And this is the final output, which I was searched about Python interview question, and the Google crawler shows everything, and the indexing all the resources which they searched from Google. So I'm talking about advantages and disadvantages of the Google crawler. So advantages is that they contain huge data. Uh, they can provide us everything, and it is very use and familiar, free field to search, and easy to use, friendly. Disadvantages: page rank can be manipulated. It is easy to trick the crawler. Website have hidden data, can be manipulated to make the page appear like it's something it's not. So if you give me permission, I will show you code on Google crawler.
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Is the screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, okay. So first we import the request pandas and JSON and import the date and time delta. And these all are libraries which we use for Google Chrome. And second, we set the uh, keywords and question list. So take keyword from user and search a keyword on Quora. We can set the sites from which we want to search the entire data. So the site list we can we set it the site list like Quora.com, Reddit.com, and Wikipedia.com. And now we are going to forward and search on Google using Google APIs and keys, and then. mm, Then Google Crawler attach the Google URL link which we searched on Google, and now Google fetched all the data and convert responsive string to JSON object. So when I encode the data, so it will show the search engine, and now I can put it down anything what I want to search, like yeah, like that. So Google Crawler detect all the data and all the sources from Google from these three sites which we have set on previous on the code. So that's it about Google Crawler. And now I'm going to explain you about sending email with SMTP. And I will explain you about what is SMTP, how it's work. It's all about components, code snippets, advantages and disadvantages. So SMTP, it is a simple mail transfer protocol and used to sending the receiving email. SMTP used most commonly by any clients and include Gmail, Outlook, Apple Mail, and Yahoo Mail. We can use these of things, and we can send and receive the emails through SMTP. And we can also set the time and schedule it for future. And SMTP can send and receive an email, but email clients typically use a program with SMTP for sending an emails, because SMTP is limited in its ability to queue messages at the receiving end. It's usually used with either post office protocol or internet message access protocol, which lets the user save messages uh, in a server mailbox and download them periodically from a server. SMTP is typically limited to and relied on to send messages from sender to a recipient. So these are the basic steps of how we proceed the sending emails using SMTP. So the first step is, first of all, the SMTP library needs to be imported. And then second step is, after the create a session, we will be using its instance SMTP to encapsulate an SMTP connection. Step 3, in this you need to pass the first parameter of the server location and the second parameter of the port to use for Gmail, which is 587 port number. So step 4 is for security reason. Now put the SMTP connection in TLS mode. TLS transfer layer security encrypts all the SMTP commands. After that, for security and authentication, we need to pass your Gmail account credentials in the login instance the compiler will show an authentication error if you enter an invalid email ID or password. So these are the basic components like MUA, MSA, MTA, MDA. It's all work for different purposes. Like MUA is local user of the client and utility, which is known as mail user agent. MSA is a mail submission agent, MTA is mail transfer agent, and MDA is mail delivery agent. So this is the code for sending emails and receiving emails through the SMTP. So first we import the MIME and MIME text and MIME base, and then we encoders the information. So MIME is a multi-purpose internet mail extension, and MIME text is to shared data and mails. MIME base is we can attach the file and all the details which we want to share. Then we encode encode the details. So the mail addresses and password for sender, we will put the sender address and sender password, which we generated from app password in my PC. Then we put the receiver address and set up the MIME, which is multimedia extension. So currently I have only used without attach the file. So this is like that. The email sent to the different email address. We can see how the mail has arrived. Yeah, like that we receive the mail through SMTP. So these are some advantage and disadvantage of SMTP server. So some advantages is it supports bulk mailing, low cost and extended area coverage, provide options for tracking emails, reliable and quick email delivery. And some disadvantages of SMTP is the SMTP server is that it is insecure. It can be easily hacked, and there is so-called fake emails that are messages sent using any addresses. Another disadvantage is the server limitations. So that's it, sir. Thank you.
I hope you are done with the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So your presentation was good. Okay, you covered all the important aspects of your presentation. You covered all the important thing. You give a proper context on what is crawler, and then you went on ahead to show the live demonstration. Same with the SMTP. You ended with the advantages of SMTP. That is good. Okay. I believe it was okay because you had two different tasks in one task, right? So it
Yes,
is
sir.
really hard to make a story type presentation out of it because they
Exactly.
are completely different type of task. Okay, some
Yes,
task
sir.
was really different from other. Okay, so it was okay task, I would say. Keep up with this kind of presentation. Okay, with this kind of presentation, you should give this kind of presentation. Okay,
Yes, sir.
because
I
your
will.
tasks were different, SMTP and Pro. It is really
Yeah,
hard to
exactly,
link
sir.
them together. Okay.
Yeah, exactly, sir.
Yeah, so good
As
job
of
again
now,
on that.
when I was presenting the slides, I'm a little bit confused how to elaborate, how to express my ideas. So sometimes I was
Yeah.
a little bit stuck to explain.
See, as I said, when you give more presentation,
Yes, sir.
you will improve a lot. Okay,
Exactly,
because
sir.
this is really starting after 3 or 4 presentation, your
Yes, sir.
flow will build up on its own. Okay,
Exactly, sir.
currently you don't have much like experience in giving presentation.
Yes, sir.
See, the presentation that we are holding, okay, the only thing is that when you are giving a presentation, because when you go and get a full-time job, they will ask you to present, okay. Suppose you
Yes,
are
sir.
working in a team, okay. So you will be asked to give a presentation. So you will give presentation behalf of your team. You will be
Yes,
the
sir.
only person giving presentation, and some people will be there occasionally for question and answer. Suppose if I ask you question on the user experience and user interface like UI UX, then some you will say that this person has worked on UI UX, he will answer your query. They are only there for this thing, but you will be doing the main presentation. Okay, so use this opportunity and gather the experience to work on this presentation. But as the time goes on, after you have given 3 presentation, 4 presentation, your flow will certainly build up on its own. Okay,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
be patient and do more practice. That is the only thing you can do. Okay.
Bilkul. Yeah, exactly, sir. I will
Yeah.
do my best in upcoming presentations, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you
Okay.
so much
Thank
for
you for
cooperation.
presentation.
Okay.
So next person is Rohan J. Yeah, Rohan.
Hello, sir.
Yes, very good. What is your topic name?
Sir, air monitoring system, air quality monitoring system, sir.
Yeah, you are scheduled.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, I'm not able to present.
Mihir, can you stop the screen?
Yeah, yeah, sir.
Try now, Rohan.
Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. So my topic is on researching about the air quality monitors, which are available in the market. So these are the contents which I'm going to discuss. I'm going to discuss about the different types of air quality monitors available in the market, and also about the key components used in these air quality monitors. So air pollution is one of the major environmental concerns worldwide. So the need of development of air quality monitors is uh, necessary to control the, like, to get the details of the quality of the air and the levels of pollutants in the air. So in this research, we will identify and explore the components that are commonly used in the air quality monitors. A air quality monitor is a device that uses one or more sensors which are connected to the some microprocessor which detect, monitor, and report on specific air pollutants like particulate matter or carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide present in the atmosphere. And it can also, like, uh, report the factors such as temperature and humidity. So basically, there are mainly air quality monitors fall under 3 categories: lab grade, commercial grade, and consumer grade. In which lab grade monitors are the most accurate one, and they are much expensive when compared to other types of monitors. These monitors are generally used by governments and research organizations to collect the air quality data, as they are incredibly accurate. Consumer grade monitors are uh, much cheaper compared to the lab grade monitors, as these monitors are used by uh, in-house and personal use. Commercial grade monitors fall between lab grade and consumer grade monitors. These monitors are used by the industries and for building products. So this is the block diagram of the air quality monitor. So basically, the various sensors such as carbon dioxide, VOC sensor, and ozone sensors, etc., are interfaced with the Arduino microprocessor. So basically, these are the analog devices which are connected to the analog pins of the Arduino, and then the necessary data is displayed on the LCD display. So now let's talk about the key components used in the air quality monitoring system. So This is the PM 2.5 sensor, which is used for measuring the amount of particulate matter which is present in the atmosphere. So this PM 2.5 sensor detects the particulate matter in the air of around 2.5 mm, 5 microns of diameter. So particulates are the most harmful form of air pollution because they can penetrate deep into the lungs, bloodstreams, and brain, and causing many health problems. So this sensor works on the principle of laser scattering. So the sensor has a fan which creates a controlled airflow so that the environmental particulates pass through a focused laser beam. Now, CO2 sensors are used for measuring the amount of concentration of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere. So carbon dioxide is not only in high concentration is very dangerous for health because it can cause drowsiness, tiredness, decrease in our productivity level, and so on. Now, VOC and ozone sensors are used for detecting the VOC, which are volatile organic compounds, and ozone. So this MP503 sensor is used for detecting the amount of ozone present in the atmosphere. And this MQ131 sensor is used for detecting the amount of volatile organic compounds present in the atmosphere. So basically, VOC can be emitted from the day-to-day used products such as perfumes, detergents, cleaners, air fresheners, etc., which can cause various health problems such as headaches, irritation, eyes, skin reactions, etc. So, yeah. Now, when it comes to conclusion, the development of air quality monitors has become very necessary because to detect the pollutants present in the air and take the precautions so that there is no health problems found. So now in this research, we found that the various sensors such as carbon dioxide sensor, carbon monoxide sensor, VOC and ozone sensors are interfaced with the microcontrollers to create the air quality monitors and meet the specific requirements. Now, carbon monoxide sensors detect the presence of carbon monoxide, which is a poisonous gas that can cause serious health problems. And particulate sensors detect the particulate matter in the air, which can cause respiratory problems and other health issues. Smoke sensors detect the presence of smoke and other combustion products, providing early warning of a potential fire. Overall, air quality monitors play a critical role in protecting the human health and the environment as well. And advancement in technology are continuously improving, and various researchers are done on air quality monitors to increase the accuracy, reliability of the air quality monitors. That's all about this presentation, sir.
Okay. Okay, your presentation was good, I believe, and your content was also good. You covered all the important points, but try to use better diagrams next time. Okay, I believe the
Yes, sir.
image was not of best quality. It was not. It was quite blurry. Okay, try to use
Yes, sir.
better images next time. Okay, and try to
Yes, sir.
zoom in more on the images so that it is visible. It is visible properly. Okay, and
Yes, sir.
work on your explanation part. I believe some of those slides you were just reading from them. So try to do that less. Make your points less. Okay. If you have
Yes, sir.
1 point of 3 or 4 line, try to summarize it in 1 or 2 line. You can keep the explanation part. It was enough. Okay. You don't need to go
Yes, sir.
too deep in the conclusion side. Okay. Work on
Yes,
that.
sir.
Other than that, it was good. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll move on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so it is already 8:56, I believe. It will be 9 in 4 minutes. You will be unable to have presentation for today. Okay, you guys can, but I believe one of the person has asked in the technical chat, and he has got permission to present after 9 because of some personal reasons. So I will only take presentation for that, and I believe the name is Sahil Sheikh. So I will take presentation of Sahil Sheikh at 9. Other people can join tomorrow. If your presentation is remaining, you can join tomorrow at 7. Try to raise your hand as soon as possible so that you can have your presentation, and by next week there will be one more person taking your scrum meeting. So there will be two scrum meetings parallelly going on. So if you are not able to give your presentation this week, certainly next week you will be able to give your presentation. You will not receive any kind of negative evaluation because of time issue. Okay. So other people can leave if they want, because it is already 9 p.m. So you guys are can free to leave. But if you would like to watch his presentation, you can stay and watch the presentation. And if you have any kind of general queries, feel free to post them in the chat. I will see. Okay, so Sahil. Hello, Sahil sir, are you in the meet?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One second.
Okay, please turn your camera.
Just finishing a set.
Yeah, please. Okay. While Sahil is setting up, you guys can leave. It is already 9. Or if you would like to watch, you can stay. Because we will only have this presentation. He has taken special permission from the technical chat. Other people can have their presentation tomorrow. This is the last presentation for today. Then we can wrap up. Sahil, if you are ready, you can turn your camera. I will unmute you. Yes, sir. Please turn your camera and share the screen.
So is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. So good evening, sir. So I'm about to present TM blood report. So currently we have a situation that a doctor has a patient. So when the patient comes to the doctor with some report,
Sorry,
then
Sahil,
the
to
doctor,
interrupt. You
yes, sir.
need to start with your self introduction. Okay, so start with self introduction again. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. It's my actual first presentation. So,
No issue. You can start again.
my name is Sahil Sheikh. Yeah. Good morning, sir. My name is Sahil Sheikh. I'm from the web developer group, and currently I was assigned the TM blood report, and I'm about to give the presentation for that. Okay. So the situation we have at hand is that a doctor has a patient, and that patient comes to the doctor with some report. So the doctor analyzes that report and gives diagnosis for the patient. Now, if the same patient comes to the doctor after a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then the doctor has to compare his new report with the previous report, and he has to give a comparison. And based on the comparison, he'll be giving a new diagnosis. So in such cases, what can happen is the doctor can forget what he has said to the patient beforehand, or what was the parameters, or what was the values, or what was his condition in the previous report. So what he has to do is check both the reports manually, and it takes time. But there is only one patient, but it is not the case in real world. A doctor has many patients, and a patient has many reports. So it will be a hectic and time-consuming process for the doctor. These are the problems that may be faced by the doctor. And it is a time-consuming process. The effort taken is much more. He has to compare all the data, and he has to give the diagnosis. And first and foremost is human error. Even the doctor is a human. So sometimes it may happen that he makes some mistakes which may or may not uh, reflect on his future conditions, etc. So for that, what we need is a software or a web application or a application that has the capacity of these properties. So it must be having a storage. Suppose if that software has a storage to store the reports, and it can compare with some algorithm, and based on that it analyzes the report, and based on that it can give some diagnosis. So if such a software exists, then it will be a very much easier process for the doctor to give his results. So for that, what we have built is the TM blood report manager. So the features of this project are that we have used AI to extract the information. That we have used libraries like Textract and other pandas, other libraries to extract the information from the report uploaded by the doctor. So it basically scans the whole report and extracts the parameters, suppose hemoglobin, glucose level, etc. And it stores those parameters and makes the comparison. So we have a Python script which we are using for the process. So based on this, we'll have a demo. So this is the actual website for the same. We have the authentication, so I'll be logging in. So this is a basic dashboard of the website. So we have a dashboard, and we have the properties such as search patient and add patient. In this search patient, we would be having all the patients that the doctor has added. So let's add a patient. We have the CRUD operation, such as I'll add myself as a patient right now. I'll be adding some address and a zip code. So the patient is added, and I'm here at the patient profile. So here the basic details are getting displayed with a profile picture if you want to. Then the doctor has the capability to update the details if he has made some mistake. We have the basic road operations, and we have the option to upload a document. So we have some doc, and we're choosing upload document. So when we submit this, So currently it is loading. What it is doing is it, as I said earlier, we have some AI algorithms in the backend. So it reads the whole document and extracts all the parameters. It depends on the document size that how much time is taken for the extraction. So these are the parameters that are present in the document. So finally we submit and we get such a display. So what it is currently doing is, for now I have only uploaded one document. So it is showing the parameters of that and I'm getting a final comparison. But since I have only uploaded one document, it is showing the same diagnosis. So if you want to make an actual comparison, so we have to add another report of the same patient. So we can do that by going here. We can go to search. Then I have all the patients here. Then I'll be adding another document named doc2. And I'll be choosing a file. This time I'll add another document, max. So as you can see, it is also getting uploaded. The parameters that are present in this report will be displayed here. So we have only 5 parameters in this document. So when I submit this, I'll be getting such a display again. But since the common parameters are not present in both the reports, we're not getting anything to compare. So I'll show you the report of a previous patient. I have added this patient named Jagdo and I have uploaded 4 to 5 reports. So this is the final uh, comparison after we have uploaded 4 to 5 reports. So we have the capability to upload a max of 5 reports. So it gives a comparison of 5 reports here. And in the comparison column, we can see that it is giving a diagnosis such as it needs work, it has improved from the previous reports, and such as that. So the features or the advantages of such a software is, as you can see, that we have the capability to store the reports. So by storing multiple reports, the doctor doesn't have to remember what he has given beforehand, or he doesn't need to analyze the whole document again. So he can just upload the documents in this software and finally he gets such a comparison at the end. So also it is very less time consuming and there is very minimal human error as the doctor doesn't have to analyze everything manually. So he can just upload a document and gets a diagnosis. And he can just cross-check the final comparison and give the diagnosis to the patient. And in such a way, all the patients can be managed efficiently. So we have used Django for the application. So Django is a popular high-level web framework. It basically mainly focuses on scalability, security, and maintainability. In this case, security means that it has its own authentication, that it has its own pre-built authentication features and scalability. So first of all, rapid development as well as built-in, easy to learn and understand. The reason why Django is easy to learn and understand is basically it's because it is made of Python. Django is made of Python and Python is very easy to understand and learn. So the process of building the applications with Django becomes very easy. It has its own object relational mapping. Django supports ORM. So basically we don't need to manually deal with the traditional databases, relational databases and add the columns beforehand and making it. We just need to make a model of what are the parameters that need to be for a specific object. So if we have a model named patient, then he can have a name, he can have a second name, he can have the age, address, zip code, as we saw before. And it has its own built-in admin interface, which means that while building the application using Django, we can access the admin interface, and we can see all the data that has been built there, that the models or the data that the model contains. If I make a model name patient and a model name doctor as well. So, and if I add some doctors and patients there, then I'll be able to see all the data that I have uploaded on the admin interface, and I can even upload the dummy data, delete data as well. And also ML solutions. Django, since it is made of Python, we can easily implement ML solutions and ML algorithms in Python. So it becomes very, very easy to keep an up and running ML model in web application, integrate with the web application. So the conclusion is that only that the usage of such a software, it can even be made in as a web application. But since we're made as a it can also be integrated with a mobile application, but we have made with a web application for now. So the usage of such a software makes the doctor's life easy. The implementation of such a solution in a fast and robust world yields spectacular results. As you can see, the doctor doesn't need to actually manually check all the reports, check all the parameters, and give the diagnosis, which may take many time. So that concludes my presentation, sir. Is there any questions?
I have done with the presentation.
Yes, sir.
I hope you have already seen the demonstration. Okay, it was a very well made presentation. You chose bottom to top approach. That is, you first explain the demonstration, given the demonstration, then explain why we need Django and all that. It was the flow was really good. You had a good story at the start. Okay, presentation was also well done. Demonstration was also well done. Okay, you will, I believe it is already 9:15. Okay, so it is getting late. Your presentation was good. You will get the scores by tomorrow after 10 a.m. when the support team is online. Okay. So you will get your score by 10 p.m. 10 a.m. tomorrow. And all the people who have not received the score, you will also get your scores by 10 a.m. So with this, I think we can conclude the meet. Thank you, Sahil, for your wonderful presentation. And thank you all the people who have given their presentation today. Those of you who couldn't give a presentation, you can certainly join tomorrow at 7 and raise your hand as fast as you can. Then you will get your, you will be higher on the queue. You will be able to give a presentation. Okay. So thank you for joining. We will conclude this presentation today. Okay,
Sir,
yeah.
Sir, do you have any feedback for the presentation? Actually, it's my first time giving the presentation after coming to Hackveda, because the previous talks were just viewed as in a video. So
yeah, see, as I said, your flow was really good. Okay, you explained all the points correctly. Okay, so overall, more in-depth review you will get in the email itself. Okay, the internal team will make that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Because technically it was correct, I believe. All the things that you have presented, it was correct. You presented it in step-by-step format. It was well presented. Everything was clear. So I believe this is a good presentation compared to other TM blood presentation. I would say it was more on a higher level. Okay, so
Thank
it
you,
is better presentation, I would say. Okay. Yeah, so with this, I believe we can conclude the meeting. It is already 9:15. You guys can start to leave now. Thank you for joining, Sahil. You can leave also.
Thank you, sir, for accommodating me.
And Sucharya, if you are in the meet, I believe we have posted a query on WhatsApp. Yeah. If your Linux instance is not running, you can also run it on the local host. Okay. Join tomorrow at 7. Raise your hand. We will have a presentation. Thank you for joining.